So in the classification of bones, we have seen the structural classification and the regional classification. Now we'll have a look at the developmental classification of bones. So developmental classification occurs how? Either membranous or somatic or visceral. So let's start with the smallest one, that was somatic bones. That is, majority of the bones are formed from the soma. Second, visceral bones, or they are formed from the pharyngeal arches, that is the hyoid bone, mandible, bones of the ear, that is the ear ossicles. These are all known as the visceral or the pharyngeal bones because they develop from these pharyngeal arches. And the most common one is the membranous. Now, the membranous is again divided into multiple, that is, inside the membrane, that is dermal, also known as mesenchymal. We have cartilaginous or intracartilar or endochondral. And third is membranocartilaginous, means half in membrane and half in the cartilage. Let's have a look at examples. If it's a membranous bone or the dermal bone, also known as the mesenchymal bone, the examples are frontal, parietal, facial, that is the maxilla. What about the cartilaginous bones, or that those bones that are developed inside intracartilaginous, also known as endochondral? We have the humerus, the femur, the vertebral column, and the thorax. Now, the last classification, that is membranocartilaginous, that happens 50-50, half here, half there. We have the clavicle, mandible, occipital bone, temporal bone, and sphenoid bones of the skull. Alright, so this was the developmental classification of the bones.